butcher, but have had to learn to carve the joint.
How ruthless women can be, far worse than men. Ian Gow was completely in love with the lady and utterly devoted to her. And yet he is replaced by Michael Allison.
He's useless. Useless. She needs something stronger, more permanent. A department devoted to her and staffed by people who can conceal the truth. People with guile and patience.
That's, Ian strongly implied, where I come into it. And the more I think this over, the more delicious it seems. Escape on magic wings attached Mercury-like to my golden feet from the hatefulness of Caxton House, and to land with one bound into the very centrum, the vortex of power. At tea time, I wanted pliers. I could not find pliers. Nowhere in this whole fucking place with its 17 outhouses, garages, sheds, 18 vehicles. After stealing toolkits from every car I've sold on over the last 20 years, could I find pliers? I've done practically no shopping. How could I? When? Yet tomorrow is Christmas Eve. As for the department, I never want to go through its doors again. Total shitty, bored blue, strained and befuddled by all the paperwork. Fuck them.
Where are the fucking pliers?
Well, that's it. Christmas is off. New Year's Eve. I always go to bed early on New Year's Eve and sleep the better for thinking of all those silly sods compulsorily seeing it in, drinking and driving. Last night, I drank a lot of Sauvignon and had a strange dream. The table office had refused one of my questions.
I'm sorry, Minister. By the time this comes up, you won't be an MP.
Won't be an MP?
Yes, no, I'm sorry. You're out.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. Nominations for Plymouth are closed. We found someone new. Someone who likes Plymouth and our West Country ways.
I realized that I'd been concentrating on the new possibility in Folkestone and had missed the nomination.
Oh, that's all right.
But I woke and realized that it wasn't true and was delighted. I start with the premise that the Prime Minister is everything.
What diminishes or threatens her diminishes or threatens the country.
Just as the country is itself enhanced by whatever does so for her authority and freedom. It is an awkward thing to say, other than to those who one can trust, but policies are neither determined nor evolved on a simple assessment of national or even party interest. Personal motives, ambition, mischief-making, a view to possible obligations and opportunities in the future.
Sometimes raw vindictiveness all come into it.
The Prime Minister needs someone who can provide early warning, counsel, and conduct lightning. One must never forget that the mob is always ready and its leaders are in the Senate.
Very good, Alan. Very good.
As always, I was impressed by Ian's wisdom and feel for politics. How lucky I am to be his friend.
Looks like your suggestions for reforms of the PM's office are going through.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes. Over Easter. David Young's going to be in charge.
This is appalling. I hardly know the
Family
man.
all right?
Very much not one of the club.
Yes, men of state rank. Virtually signed up. He's going to run it from the Lords.
This threatens to be the end of an era in more senses than one. It finally writes off Ian's chances of getting back to the epicenter of power, as well as any role for me in the scheme of things. Suddenly, a brilliant idea. My old friend and standby for many a dirty trick. Jonathan Aitken.
Alan!
I've got a bit of a problem.
I told him the problem. He was very understanding, got the point at once, and promised that he would attend to it immediately. It is very late, but might just do the trick. Partly because it is a leak of the intention, partly because it is couched in such distinguished, though disapproving, language. One can feel the presence of greatness even when one cannot see it. Something like a disturbance in the magnetic field. By God, she is so beautiful. Made up to the nines, of course, but still bewitching, as Eva Perron must have been. I could not take my eyes off her. I radiated protective feelings, and indeed feelings of another kind. The back of her hair is perfect, almost identical to previous days. Can't be a full wig, as the front is clearly her own. But I suspect it is a chignon.
There's blood there, you know. No doubt about it. There's blood.
Tom King latched onto her pretty quick, and I could feel her sense of agitation as her foot twisted and turned while he droned on. She has wonderful small feet and attractive, not bony, ankles in the 1940s style. Could I get you anything?
No, thank you.
As I was saying, I could get my office to get some...
Later, I heard that the David Young idea has been dropped. The sword rises from the lake.
Good afternoon. Thursday's headlines. After new violence on the picket lines, Arthur Scargill says he wants to take the heat out of the situation, but the...
I've been stuck in London all week, and the flat is beginning to smell a little stale. Yet again, the cleaner has cried off sick. This is the third week in a row. Impending sackings. Impending sackings. Named were Arthur Cockfield, David Mitchell, Bob Dunn, John Butcher, and Alan Clark. All the gabblers are, of course, immune. As always, Heseltine and that podgy life insurance risk Kenneth Clark are approvingly tipped. Today has been vile. The miners' strike is stirring all the benefit claimants to demonstrate in the most ugly way possible.
I must talk to them.
Minister, please don't try and get out.
I must talk to them.
Minister, please.
Tories out! Tories out! Tories out! Tories out! Tories out!
All like to calm down, then maybe we can talk. Wretched people, they were angry, but taken aback by my actually dismounting to listen. Some SWP yobs tried to get a chant going, but the others really wanted to air their grievances. It's foul. Such a waste. Uncomfortable. I thought what Soames and I can spend between us on a single meal at Wilton's. A spot of turbulence. My first performance on BBC Question Time arrives as we mourn another sellout orchestrated by the odious Heseltine. True to form, he has ensured that the Royal Navy is fitted out with yet another American missile, choosing it over one of our own domestic systems on some spurious cost-based formula. This seems to ensure nothing but the demise of British industry and an increase in our jobless total. I did not hit it off with Sue Lawley. The worst possible basis for a relationship. She, an attractive woman, spotted at once that I have lecherous tendencies, but did not actually fancy her.
Women at work. He's a barrister, a military historian, and sits for Plymouth Sutton. Apparently, one of the reasons Mr. Clark went into politics, and that was only 10 years ago, is that he believed it would make him more attractive. He believes the strongest sexual attraction is money, and power is money in pasteurized form. Can we have our first question, please?
Why wasn't she batting for Britain today, when her government awarded the contract for a new missile, not to British Aerospace for their Sea Eagle, but to an American company for their Harpoon missile?
Alan Clark, you're our military historian. You were on the Defence Committee, weren't you?
I didn't nibble at the bait. I swallowed, and most of the line, the float, the rod, the fisherman's waders, the lot. Sod it. I knew as much about this subject as anyone. A bad decision had been made. Say so.
But in this case, I think it was the wrong decision.
Is there anyone here who wishes to defend the government on this because its minister doesn't? Any more defence of the government before we have a bit more attack of it? Yes, here's one.
I'm a little confused because I thought I heard this morning.
Telephone. Hello. Woken at 7:30 by the Standard, who read me the PA tape. Junior Minister disowns government decision.
Obviously, no comment.
And plenty more. Heseltine was apparently livid, which, of course, I enjoyed no end. Perfect timing, sacked for Easter.
You don't really want to be sacked, do you? Peter Morrison wants to see you as soon as possible.
Nothing from the Secretary of State?
Not yet.
Well, maybe we'll just shave it.
Secretary of State. Immediately, I'm afraid, Minister.
Tom King was shaken, or pretended to be.
Oh, well. We'll do our best to hold the line.
Said rather in tones of I don't think I can stand much more. What the hell? I was almost elated. At least I would be dismissed for something that related to my own subject. A hero in my own eyes.
Number 10 has issued a statement. Quote, "What Mr. Clark meant to say was that we need to look carefully at all the options and give preference to British products wherever possible." Which, of course, is utterly different from what, in fact, you did say and is recorded on video. Nevertheless, the Prime Minister sees no reason why you should resign. So, looks like you're off the hook again.
Dear, good, kind, sweet lady. It's so lovely here. Slow and peaceful. Buds everywhere and greeny yellow leaves bursting. Jane is so pretty. Her hair always gets tawny streaks in the springtime. But my balls ache, and my lower back is stiff and creaky. Blast! tit for the sack. Again. Presumably, my name was the unanimous choice at some spastic editorial conference. I sometimes think the only reason I stay on is to prove all those wankers wrong. That's it. Sunday ruined again. The conference season is upon us once more, and Brighton is crawling with politicians in bad suits, eating cheap ice creams and trying to look cheerful for the press. Tom King did a pretty smudgy job of introducing the team at the department debate, but pleasingly, I got what, for a junior minister, was rather a good cheer. When we had finished, we were standing on the steps wondering whether to take a walk along the front. A pleasing escapist impulse came to us both simultaneously. Bugger it, let's go home.
Al! There's been a bomb!
Bomb?
The front of the hotel was blown.
They had got Tebbit, Wakeham, Tony Berry, various dignitaries. Keith Joseph, indestructible, wandering about in a burgundy-coloured dressing gown, bleating. Mrs. T had been saved by good fortune, as she was in the bathroom. Had she been in the bedroom, she would be dead. But what a coup for the Paddies. The whole thing has a smell of the Tet offensive. If they'd only had the wit to press their advantage with a couple of chaps with guns in the crowd, they could have got the whole government. Any moment, I could be killed by an assassin. Or a lunatic. Bound to be a reshuffle now.
Yes, no, of course, Minister, but the plain fact is there remains significant black opposition to ethnic monitoring at the unemployment offices.
You mean to say they don't want us collecting their names and addresses because they're afraid that we're going to hand them over to the Immigration Service so that they can send them all back to Bongo land? What?
Here he comes. Look, Alan, Mr. Clark, Alan, Mr. Clark, did you or did you not use the phrase Bongo land when referring to the black community?
I have no recollection of saying those words.
Yeah, but Alan, you...
However, it is perfectly possible that I said something like it.
Alan. You really can't be allowed to get away with this all the time. The verdict is... you're still loved. Will is defending you vigorously, apparently. Everybody else is thoroughly enjoying it. It's nothing like a good gaffe to distract the press.
Like many who have had an unhappy childhood, I'm frightened of being laughed at. Perhaps that is why I like making people laugh with me. Yesterday, I did something for the last time. When you do something for the first time, you always know. But when you do something for the last time, you seldom do. Until months or years later, you realize that was the very last time. Never again. Earlier that morning, I had read in the Western Morning News that Mrs. Barnard, the fearsome matriarch of Pennolt High Farm, had died and the property was for sale. Something made me drive over, if only to look at the place which I had coveted for so long when we were living down there and the boys were tiny. I can't tell why, but my mind strayed to the possibility of starting again. I suppose it could still be done, but not while Jane is alive. I could not, would never wound her. The best human being in the entire world. And if she was taken from me, I would be so shattered, I couldn't do anything. I enter the mind of others, the ghosts of former times, who must have looked upon this view and, like me, felt wistful. Had someone looked on this for the last time on home leave from Flanders? It's almost as if I have died not once, but very many times. Practically every reshuffle there's been has made me angry.
I am going to mow the lawn.
Hello. Peter Morrison rang from his new office at the DTI, too well-mannered to gloat.
Already sorting out the civil service. They're trying to put a female in charge of my private office.
Really? I've had nothing but women in charge of mine. Find it rather congenial.
Yes, but a woman couldn't carry my guns, could she? Tim? Oh, don't look so glum, Alan. There's bound to be a really big reshuffle next Easter.
Whatever for, I thought. As I brood on this, I find myself becoming crosser. I've had it. Chris Patton has been made a Minister of State. Okay, he's brilliant. But so has Renton, and he isn't. I want out at Christmas. Today we had the DE Carol service. As always, ego and rights to an unbelievable degree. I can only properly enjoy carol services if I'm having an illicit affair with someone in the congregation. Why is this?
How was it?
Very dull. If I look back on the last 3 weeks, I can see nothing of any moment whatsoever that has happened to me, save that I've suffered, absorbed, and phlegmily surmounted a filthy cold in the head. I have made various visits, mainly, it seems, to workshops for the disabled, to please Jenny and to give the illusion of activity. But all that has happened is that I am much older and iller. I have done nothing for my country, and I would guess that there are more people out of work today than there were a month ago.
Cheer up, Grinch.
The Westland row is now ablaze. People are saying Mr. Heseltine is going to resign. I don't believe it. No one resigns when the House is not sitting. But Michael has always had this slightly scatty side. It is the only even half endearing trait that he possesses. Anyway, so what? So what if he does resign? Good riddance.
Yes, well, I think everyone thought he was lucky enough to get that far in the first place, don't you? I agree.
Heseltine's resigned. I'll call you back. Constitutional principle, my hat. He has higher designs, I fear.
Michael Heseltine resigns and attacks Mrs. Thatcher.
He says there was no longer a basis of trust and no place for me in the cabinet.
He says Mrs. Thatcher muzzled her ministers over Westland.
Sensing developments, I cancelled a visit to Plymouth.
Hello. Alan, John Wakeham.
John Wakeham came on. Some pleasantries about being snowed up, and then...
PM's contemplating a few changes, and I want to ask you if you'd like to be asked to move sideways and help Nick Ridley at transport.
John, I'm under the stairs. Would you hang on while I transfer you through to the office? Sideways. I had to refuse. I was actually rather miffed.
Mr. Clark! Mr. Clark, in light of the Sea Eagle, was Michael Heseltine right to resign?
No comment. Westland drags on. Reporters everywhere, and the atmosphere of a bazaar, as in the East rather than the constituency.
At 6 o'clock this evening, Leon Britton, the industry secretary, resigned because, as he tells Newsnight, he no longer commanded the confidence of the House. The opposition get their man. Now they're training their sights on Mrs. Thatcher.
I'm afraid skiing's off for the next few days. There's going to be an emergency debate. The lady's not out of the woods yet.
Perhaps they're going to get her like the weevils got to Gaul. Ian is full of gloom and portent, but I discount it. He is a man of honour. Personally, I don't give a blow. Lie, if necessary. For a few seconds, Kinnock had her cornered, and you could see fear in those blue eyes. But then he had an attack of wind, and she gave a brilliant riposte. Shameless and brave.
What the right honourable gentleman can't stand is that I have given him the facts and that they have been checked.
Al, do you want the good news or the bad?
Always the bad news first.
You've got to go straight back to London. Huh? The PM wants to see you at number 10.
It was trade. Paul Channon's old job. David Young had confirmed it in the lift, talking to one of his own staff. And the news was all over the building. Timing was tight. The usual train was inevitably late. I just got to number 10 in time. Well, not really. I was on time, and I should have been a deferential 8 minutes early. No one seemed to know who I was or why I was there. The Prime Minister looked wonderful, was effusive, genuinely friendly. She told me how important the job was. I was to be Minister for Trade, not just a Minister of State, but the second most important minister outside the Cabinet, after the Financial Secretary.
Don't shout that around.
Of course not, Prime Minister.
Someone has said that you might be unacceptable to, for example, the Nigerians, because of certain remarks about Bongo land. But you will, of course, be perfectly acceptable, won't you?
Of course, Prime Minister.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. I value...
She spoke of her determination to go on, and her blue eyes flashed. I got a full dose of personality compulsion, something of the Führer contact. I returned to the department full of zest to pack my bags. I am in the ascendant.
And your next instalment of the Alan Clark Diaries is next Thursday at 10. More details and a bit of a taster coming up. Next tonight, the contradictions in the life of Sir Isaac Newton, who, in the world of Mark Steele, likes alphabetti spaghetti and the communards. Stay with us. Read an interview with writer and director John Jones and enter our competition to win signed scripts of the Alan Clark Diaries. Go to bbc.co.uk/BBC.